And I put a personal question to you now. Because I know you had been on YouTube, you knew the media in that sense, but you weren't a media person. In your baptism, harsh as it was, how hard was it in the first couple of weeks for you to find balance and scale? You may be a clinical psychologist, and you are obviously mature.
Oh, I don't think I've ever found balance and scale.
Well, join my club.
You know, I don't believe it. I mean, I'm here still.
I mean, in that great throbbing moment when all this stuff came in, and he hates this one, and your name is flashed all over the world. That was the first real magnitude of media attack on you.
Yeah.
So even for you, how was that period?
Well, it was dreadful. I mean, especially the first couple of months because the attention was, well, it has been since then, but the attention was unbelievably intense. I mean, there were days upon days where there were reporters lined up coming into the house one after the other, and that really hasn't stopped. I mean, it stopped, let's say, in the last 2 months since the end of March, however long ago that is, because I've shut myself off because of I have some family health trouble that's very serious, but I don't think I've ever adjusted to it. What's made it bearable, I would say, and some of it's been very good, you know.
Yeah, I know that.
I mean, it's taken my life, which was fairly broad. I had a fairly broad range of experiences, partly because I'm a clinical psychologist, and you know, it's taken it from good and bad to great and unbearable. And I yo-yo between those states. What's helped is, well, the first thing is that, you know, I determined right from the beginning that I was going to say carefully what I believed to be true, because there wasn't a safer route than that.
It's interesting.
You know, that in the final analysis, it wasn't certain that anything would protect me.
Better than doing the right thing.
Well, whether that would work or not was debatable, but there wasn't a better option.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I believe that, you know, I still believe that. And I think the success of what I've done is an indication of that. The success of my book, say, which is also absolutely overwhelming. I mean, it's impossible to...
Yeah,
especially I'm kind of old, you know, I'm just about 60.
And you're white, and you're male.
Well, there's all of those things.
You are a bad man.
Yeah, well, the old part, I think, has to do with the ability to adapt.
I'm even older and whiter than male.
Yeah, well, but, you know, it's fulfilled, and the lectures and the podcasts as well, and the YouTube videos, they've fulfilled a need, which also is something that's very difficult for me to reconcile myself to. You know, I mean, every time I walk down the street, someone stops me. Someone stopped me on the way here. You know,
sure.
and as opposed to my treatment at the hand of a minority of journalists, which has been atrocious upon occasion, and academics as well. The treatment I receive from people in public is so positive that it's almost unbearable.
Let me tell you a personal anecdote that relates to you. I don't mix my old stuff with family members, but my sister is a non-political kind of person. And as I say, I don't mix those things. She called me, and she's out of this world altogether. She called me about, I don't know, a year ago. Have you seen Dr. Jordan Peterson? Do you know Dr.? Lovely stuff. And she was following the videos, the biblical lectures. And she's a smart, nice woman. And then that was one thing, that was unsolicited. She's not in the world of publicity. She doesn't follow fads, but somehow your name got in there, and she's watching these with great attention, great enjoyment, actually. But the better one, I won't be particular, a friend of mine from home, never finished school. He's about 55, 56, so we're not into the teen cohorts or late 20. And he calls me up. I don't think he's read a book in 6 years. And he says, I've been watching this Peterson fellow. And, you know, I can't reproduce what he was saying. It was just that he found such comfort. Yeah. And he found such support. And my thought when I was hearing this, it was some way to relay it to you. in all the ping pong back and forth that you're going to.
Yeah.
These voices are saying something. You're doing something really fine for people that I could never project would be receiving the message.
And it's very. This is also something that's been very difficult to both understand and I would say in a strange way to tolerate, because I've become opened up to the trouble that people have in a way that far exceeds even what I experienced as a clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
You know, last year, my wife and I went to 160 cities. Yeah, it was, well, we figured we better make hay while the sun shines. So,
You're a stronger man than I.
you know, you get caught up in the wave of events, you know, and
The adrenaline self-supplies.
yeah, well, and it was exciting and worthwhile, and the demand was there, you know, and
Yes.
I enjoy lecturing, and I used the opportunity. I delivered a different lecture every night, and I used the opportunity to think, you know, and to communicate, which of course is what you're, and in a psychologically, in a manner that I believed would be psychologically helpful, but it was also, I think, and I don't know exactly what the cumulative effect has been on me, but I had no idea the degree to which people were dying for a word of encouragement.
So many people want. That's what my friend was about. I'm speaking back to you now on the same thing. I know what he was saying. He had felt no soft rain for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And he was in this camp of the truly neglected.
Yeah.
You're uneducated. You're not particularly sophisticated. You got a low-paying job. Who gives a fuck about you?
Yeah.
And then someone is out there of stature and credibility, and this guy who would never be in your circle. Never.
Yeah.
You send an echo ping to him, and he was calling me to say, "My God, this is so good." So, allow yourself to feel good.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that it doesn't feel good. You know, and that might be a reflection of my general state of mind, which is very unsettled at the moment for the reasons that I told you, and well, because of all of everything that's happened over the last few years, but to get a taste of the depth of despair that can be ameliorated with not much more than, you know, some words of encouragement, some statement that, you know, you as a human being aren't intrinsically worthless, and that you have a spirit worth preserving, and that the things that you do in your life that you do correctly are important. It's like people are literally dying for lack of that, and I mean that.
No, I know.
Honestly, I don't know how many people have told me, and these are very hard things to hear. It's been hundreds of people, because I meet people after each of my lectures, you know, who've told me that they are still alive because they watched my lectures or because they read my book, and then they usually have a good story to tell, you know, about what sort of hell they happened to be in 6 months earlier and what they did to pull themselves out and how that's brought their family back together or helped them advance in their career or got them out of bed or stopped them from using heroin or being alcoholic.
Or jumping off
Yeah, well, and you know, all of that is,
Is it something that you, at some point, have at least to shield against?
No.
No?
No,